Here is my recap on Dexter Season 5, Episode 11, entitled Hop a Freighter. And it gets its name from a scene in the episode where Dexter and Lumen are talking to each other and they just fantasize about just leaving everything behind, hopping a freighter, and just leaving Miami. Now, they can't do that. So let's talk about the storyline in this episode. This all evolves around Lumen, Dexter, and Liddy. So we've got Dexter at the beginning notices he is being tracked by somebody. He notices the camera in his apartment, and he finds out that it is the police department that's doing this. So the next day he goes to the police department, finds out that Quinn, it was signed in by Quinn, which was really Liddy forging Quinn's signature. And they go to Quinn's house to canvass it for photos and video, and they do find some of the photos that Liddy gave him. Dexter decides to basically take Quinn out, and he doesn't want to do this. But he totally thinks Quinn is the one doing this, doesn't know anything about Liddy. He knows that because of the equipment that they're using, that they have to be pretty close to his property. So he finds a van that is being used at the department. He decides to approach the van, getting ready to take the guy out. Actually, Liddy ends up taking Dexter out. So Dexter gets kidnapped by Liddy, who tries to get a full confession from him, has him tied up, pulls out a camera, says, I want you to do a full confession. This is going to help me get my job back. Well, in the meantime, we've got Lumen, who gets called by the girl that used to know the boys many, many years ago. She says, the police are on to me. I need help. I need protection. Well, not that the police are on to me, but that Chase knows, and I need protection. I need you and Dexter to help me. Lumen says, yeah, I'll be there. She tries to get a hold of Dexter, but Dexter's been kidnapped by Liddy. So she goes to the house, and who's waiting for her? Chase is there with the girl. And during this situation, Chase gets really upset and ends up killing the girl that they've known their whole lives, ends up hitting her with a poker from a fireplace and just leaves her dead. And so he takes Lumen somewhere. So we've got Dexter, who is there with Liddy, has a scuffle with him. And in the meantime, Liddy, before getting to where he is with Dexter to get the confession, he called Quinn and said, you better come down here. I'm going to need your help with this bust. And earlier in the episode, he actually cornered Quinn and said, you're not out of this. When I call you, you better come. So Quinn is on his way there, and they're kind of in this parking lot down by the pier somewhere. And Dexter is having this scuffle with Liddy when Quinn pulls up. Well, in the end, Dexter has to kill Liddy. Is able to grab his knife and stab him, and Liddy ends up bleeding out in the back of the van. Well, the blood starts to roll off into the van, and Quinn's right outside, really pissed that Liddy's not there. He's trying to knock on the van, tries to get a hold of him, tries to call him, no answer. So he's really upset with Liddy at this stage. The blood starts to pour out and falls on his boot that he's wearing, and then walks off. So Quinn has some blood on his boot. And that's when Dexter gets the call from Lumen and answers it and has to run off to where she's at and doesn't have time to take care of Liddy. And he makes the comment of, I don't have time to take care of you. So I have a feeling what's going to happen here is that Quinn is going to get pinned for the murder of Liddy. I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I don't remember what happens, but that's from what happened. That's what I'm assuming is going to take place here in the future. And so the last scene is Dexter going to where she was and noticing that the other girl was killed. And he's very irate and is outside the house. And that's where the episode ends. So we've got Lumen, who has been kidnapped by Chase, and Dexter is on their tail. There was another little storyline here where they realize that Chase is involved, and they realize Chase is leaving the country. Well, later that day, actually. And so there's an emergency order to try and get him to stop that Deborah put in, and it was denied by one judge. And that's when LaGuerta brings her in and says, why didn't you tell me you were doing this? And she said, your motion was denied. And that's when Deborah goes off on LaGuerta saying, I can't come to you because I can't trust you. I thought we had a friendship. LaGuerta pulls out another thing and says, look at this folder. And she goes, I know another judge who owed me a favor, and I got your warrant. So you better go get him. And that's when Deborah makes the point that she looks like an ass at that point for ever doubting LaGuerta in the first place. So you can see that friendships are starting to get mended. We've got lots of things going on. So we're going to see what happens in this next episode with Quinn, what's going to happen with Liddy's body. We're going to find out what happens with Dexter, Lumen, and also with Chase. So we've got one more episode to go. That's my recap on this episode. If you guys like the videos, please hit the like button, share, let people know who are wanting to watch Dexter Season 9 when it premieres in the fall. we're going to be getting through these last 3 seasons after this pretty quickly. So these episodes are, these recap videos are going to come fast and pretty furious here because I want to get through it so people have time to watch these long before season 9 starts. All right, that's all I've got for you guys on this recap. We'll see you guys on the next one.